Okay, hi Aquarius, and welcome to your November 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead of November. I hope that you're feeling really wonderful today. We have a lot to talk about, Aquarius. I'm going to dive right into your reading. If you're new, as always, hit that subscribe button below, turn on the bell notifications, and thumbs up the video so that the YouTube algorithm knows you liked it. Okay, so sorry if I'm speaking a little bit slowly today, Aquarius. I was actually in a very minor car accident, and I'm a little bit concussed, but it's fine. Sky's fine. But all of the readings, I've got to do Aquarius through Libra still yet, so they might all be a little bit slow, but maybe, who knows, maybe it'll end up in even better psychic content. Maybe this will unblock my psychic ability. I think that it will. Okay. Intuitive messages for Aquarius. There's a bit of a hard stop. There's a bit of a sign from the universe. There's a bit of a aggregation. There's a bit of an aggravation of certain things that don't need to be in your life anymore. So paying very close attention to what your headspace is when certain things that you don't really want to happen to you happen. Paying very close attention to that is important in November because it's Scorpio season, right? Scorpio season is the thinnest point of the veil. So that means that we can really see the moral of what we're involved in. That means that we can really get some signs from the universe about where we stand. So knowing that you might be getting some signs from the universe about where you stand, Aquarius, you might want to pay attention to those and understand what the higher sign of it is. I think that you have some kind of gift from the universe coming in, but it needs to be optimized a little bit more. So everyone kind of gets a gift from the universe while being shown what they don't need to be involved in anymore in November. Okay. I keep getting drawn to the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Wands, as well as the Two of Swords in your reading. So something's harder than it has to be. Something is needing to be easier. It should be easier. It shouldn't be this difficult. And the universe is saying, figure it out, accept this gift that we're giving you, and adjust appropriately. Adjusting appropriately. It's a month of adjustment. It's a month of adjustment. It's a month of understanding what is an appropriate investment of time and energy for you. As you guys know, Nine of Wands to me is a card that is very reminiscent of the energy this year. We're all having to really push through, and we're all having to understand what we want to take with us and what finish lines we want to cross and which ones we want to back out of. So that's a big thing this month too, discerning what you want to be involved in, what you want to push through with, and what you want to pull out of. I feel like there is a tense kind of grasp that you have on things that you love. Okay, Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups, two fours coming up. Your sense of home, your sense of security is also coming into focus in the month of November, specifically so that you can start to develop a better emotional sense. Queen of Cups, the Moon, a better emotional sense of home, a better emotional sense of security, because it's kind of what I'm seeing for Aquarius. It's like maybe you've got the beautiful house, the beautiful apartment, or the beautiful car, or the beautiful undertaking, but you're still kind of leaving your present moment or leaving your present grounding to really think about things that are not solvable, or to leave things unsolved for yourself. So it's like, even though so many things have fallen into place, even though the universe has given you so much and you've fought for so much too, I'm feeling like some of this stuff that you've got in your life right now is hard won. It's like with these T-squares that we're going to be having in November, Saturn, Uranus, and then the Sun and Mars, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. Indeed, all those fixed signs. I'm right there with you as a Scorpio, Aquarius. Us fixed signs in the month of November, we have to really, really acknowledge our blessings, acknowledge how hard we've worked, acknowledge that sometimes even when we get in car accidents, we still have to work because we have deadlines to meet, and see the rewards for those things. Okay. So as you're dealing with that, Aquarius, as you're seeing what you've signed up for and what you've made a home out of through that, through those commitments, through those loyalties, it's going to basically open up an entirely new dialogue. And don't be afraid to get assurances. Don't be afraid to get approvals or a second set of eyes on what you've created, so that you can really be prepared to move forward without some of these worries. Because basically any accidents, any pain, any not wanting to push through what you've already signed up for, that is basically a result of previous desperation. So like we were really afraid before of facing poverty, of facing scrutiny, of facing criticism. So we kind of got desperate and moved really fast. And now we've got to really make sure all of that is well constructed. And we need to do that in November. Okay, these T-squares are saying anything that's on an unsolid foundation is going to come up to be dealt with. And as we deal with it, we move forward a way, way, way stronger person. Okay, so being a way, way stronger person is what you're going to come out of November with, but there's some work to do. Any other intuitive messages before we get into the week to week? You've got to cut through illusion, okay? There's no room to convince yourself that someone is someone that they're not. There's no room to convince yourself that you are being a bad person when you're not, or being a good person when you're not. Like, this is truth time. King of Swords and the Moon and the Queen of Cups. Truth merging with emotional well-being. Because I knew the truth, my emotional health increased. Versus because I lived in a fairy tale world, my emotional health increased. That's not the way it is right now. We've got to get some answers, and we've also, in some cases, it's not going to be put out in like layman's terms. It's going to be like, okay, because I can read the room, I know that this is not the way to go. Because I still don't feel right about this, I know that maybe it's not the right way to go. And then very quickly there is the proper creative capacity right there. A really big center point, really big central theme of soul energy. So your soul, your center point, your Four of Pentacles and Four of Cups are also about this. The very central idea of why we're doing what we're doing, the root is being examined now for stability and security. Is the root of what we're doing stable or not? We'll figure it out. And with those results, we need to take action soon. Or have peace of mind now knowing. You know what I mean? This is what the month of November is about for you. Okay, let's talk about the week to week for you, beautiful Aquarius. First week of November. Okay, also I just got another random psychic download. Week 1 and week 2 of November. Finish off this unknown situation. Like, I don't know what it means to be a business owner. I don't know what it means to get married. I don't know what it means to have like this type of job. I can't figure it out. First half of November, you got to figure it out. The answer is simple, but are we attached to being in that problem solver, investigator role? Okay, not knowing the answer and then being motivated to figure it out. That motivation, that root of that is where it's at, not in the question itself. But you got to figure all that out in the first 2 weeks. But week 1, emotional healing. Okay, emotional healing. Four of Cups, you're down by 8 of Swords. There's some kind of emotional halt, emotional blind spot that you might have had for a long time. Like, because I didn't forgive myself for who I was in that previous relationship, I don't allow myself a peaceful day-to-day experience. And I find non-problems to elevate into crisis so that I can not get bored via peace. Ooh, doesn't that hit hard? All the fixed signs are right there right now. So if you're a fixed person, if you're like an Aquarius with like a lot of other fixed signs, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo, that would be particularly prominent right now. There's a big, Big call for peace for the fixed signs, okay? Because if we don't want that, if we are anti-peace, or if we are pro-turmoil, pro-crisis without knowing it, good God, do these T-squares coming up in the rest of this year and then moving into the 2022 year cycle. It's not pretty, because what that basically does is it invites a lot of violent people, okay? It invites a lot of violent people. 2022 is going to have a very, like, I bet that there's going to be a lot of, like, crazy stuff on the news about, like, violence and about crazy things happening, because it's going to be a culmination point for people with violent hearts, violent psyches. And some people are just not going to be able to control themselves at all. So here we have a little preview, a little foreshadowing for every fixed sign. And you're the leader of this, Aquarius, because your sign is most represented by Saturn and Jupiter right now. Here we have a chance for the fixed signs to nip that in the bud, and also to start to push peace, okay? To relinquish catharsis needs, because this kind of stokes a weird type of, like, violent psychic experience. Kind of complicated, but I'll keep breaking this down. The first week of November is a big part of this, so it would make sense with the sun being in Scorpio, right? Self-entrapment, self-control, self-imprisonment, self-employment, self-disregard, self-blindness. Ooh, it hits hard, Aquarius. This is my favorite reading so far this month, because that's where it's at right now. That's what humanity is trying to fix, that self-directed situation, for better or for worse. You know, self-employment can be a good thing or a bad thing. I would definitely take a look into what you're holding yourself accountable for. Is it too much? Is it too little? Where is that? How do you feel about that? That's a big way to work with the energy in the first week of November. Journal, okay? Make a list. What a beautiful time for a list. Direct planets moving direct. Scorpio, it's a time of the year where a list can be a very powerful thing. Every fear you have, every concern you have, every way that you think your business or your relationship is not sound, get it down and take it in to the professionals and get it fixed, is how I feel right now is good for you. Week 2, Queen of Cups, rooted down by 9 of Wands. Emotional discipline, resolve, diligence, hard work, emotional ethic, an emotional marathon too. Some of you have been through too much emotionally lately. And here's second week of November, a chance for you to finish that, to get to that finish line, to get to the last little point, the last chapter of that emotional hell that a lot of you have been in. That's really got to finish up. This reading is so deep, it's crazy. But yes, you want to stop feeling like it's so hard to feel emotionally peaceful. Okay. By the third week of November, with the 4 of Pentacles rooted down by the moon, we need a sense or semblance of emotional peace, gratefulness, gratitude, blessings, truth, being relieved by the truth, being maybe proven wrong, that a previous paranoia was actually just that, and there was nothing wrong with the situation, and you just had to ask the question. I don't know. But yes, basically in the third week of November, you want to know what you love too. There's something to me about these energies coming in then about knowing what you love about your business, about your partner, about your hometown, about your family, about the way that you've tried to be so attentive and tried to do everything so properly. Can you admire that, and can you heal that up through that admiration? Contrarily, in the third week of November, lies, illusions, and illusions of grandeur, just slight misconceptions or false ideas about how something works, that's also possible to be rooted. So how do we choose truth instead of lie? I think that it's going to be through peace. I think if we are really attached to fear and attached to worst case scenarios and stuff like that, we're going to somehow push some type of illusion that is a savior or is some type of appeasement from that. Whereas by seeing the peace of our situation, we will make way for the space for the truth to come through. And with that, we can really do stuff right. So 4th week, King of Swords, rooted down by 2 of Swords. It's very communication oriented. Now things are kind of less emotional and things are more just about communication. So that could be a good time to write someone an email, a note, or whatever, or to have some type of official communication. I do look at that blindfold, though. Again, we're starting the month with a blindfold and ending it 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords. So you want to take that off, okay? You want to stop precluding yourself from the truth, because it's going to keep being like a marathon. It's going to keep being like a long distance run if we can't just kind of rip the Band-Aid off. So there could be kind of a Band-Aid ripping off at this time. And I think that now is the better time, because it's interesting that we have this sort of suspension in November of 2021 that gets disrupted. So for most of 2021, we've had this suspension in just like Jello for some people, psychically. And these T-squares, and even by like the end of October, there can be like a catalyst experience that knocks us back into quick motion. Pay attention to that, okay? Pay attention to that. 4th week of November will solidify that, and it's going to ask you to be very aware of what you're contributing all your time, money, energy to, of what you're on guard against, of what you accept and what you reject, okay? And let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Aquarius. We will look into a central theme and 2 supporting themes, and a beautiful overarching significator Moonology card on Patreon. You can click the center of your screen or below to check that out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.